Most human problems can be solved by an appropriate charge of high explosive. In today's lesson, boys and girls, we're going to learn to set what we call a series or a break. Follow me. My personal best is a break of 6. The idea is to create a linked series of disasters and figure evasive moves from each blast, and that's where you plant your next tomato. Just as we were coming up here with the column, they would trip charge number 1, an M26 trip grenade. Boom! Start of action. Column splits in 2, half here, half there. Over here to number 2 is a Willie Peter, which will set their ass on fire. They think they're safe, they get away. Woo! Boom! Number 3, Bouncing Betty blows her balls off. Number 4, they come over here. They think they got it made. They fire into a 2-pound charge of C4. Boom! Number 5, quick fuse grenade. Yeah, not a big bang, but it does a good job. And anybody left after this, we'll come in here. I think we've got to make it now. And they're coming out, and they're moving, and then they run into charge 6. Claymore mine.
In Valor, I think Hackman is very, very good in it.
Yeah.
As Rhodes. They're all good. They're all good. It's a fun movie, too, I hate to tell you. There's only a couple of scenes that
it's that last shot. It's the last shot of the movie that I do not understand. Stack gets his kid back, and we've had, the guys that sacrificed and all that stuff. And then Hackman walks across to his wife, and they just look at each other.
Yeah, because she's proud that he did it not for their son, but for the ones who could come home. And then, boom, cut to a song. Again, you have another one of those 80 song deliveries with the credits. Very in tune with the previous movie we were talking about, First Blood.
What pissed me off, I was watching it on whatever Flooby Tooby Booby, and they cut. The screen goes into the little corner, so you can't read the credits, and the sound, they were advertising something else. And that's when I went, want to write to these people, hey, some of us like to watch the credits.
I always watch the credits on these movies. For one, I'm looking for people I know and what their contributions were, but I just like seeing who did the work.
Yep.
But I'll tell you this too. Wings Hauser originally came up with the idea for this. Wings Hauser worked with Brian Trenchard Smith, another director who's done the show quite a bit. And we were talking about this because Wings was in Firebase Gloria, but supposedly, when Milius took this script over and rewrote it, Wing who just died too. He just died like last month. Wing supposedly cursed John Milius's name until the day he died about how this was a missed opportunity. I think Wings wanted to star in it, and Wings was a decent actor. Also worked with my buddy Michael Lang on The Last Precinct. So he had written it. Milius did the rewrite, but I will tell you, the beginning of this movie, not just with the reconnaissance team trying to get aboard the choppers and they're blowing up and that's a good setup. The sincerity of when Hackman and his wife, and he's in his uniform and he's watching the war is now over. They've shown that his son has been reported missing in action, and they're watching the POWs come back, and he has dreams of his son at like 6 and 7 years old, afraid of the lightning.
I'm scared. Can I sleep with you tonight?
And he's like putting out his hand and his son disappears. And all of this after he's like in his uniform, not to see his son come home, but to see everyone else come off the POW planes. And that's when
the guys playing the POWs had great casting because they were gaunt.
Yeah, they were good.
And I remember back then seeing that, seeing some of these, the Vietnam movies, how crazy I was like, remember as a kid just going, what's the fucking point? why are you keeping these people? And what's the cost of this military base with, slave labor and just the cruelty of it?
So our generation grew up with this. I remember going to a field trip in the 8th grade to the memorial and seeing all those names. And there was probably the first significant memory of the flag, the POW flag. And that followed us everywhere in the 80s. That was seen as major, major unfinished business, which is why this movie and the Rambo sequel fit so well into our psyche, because that was an opportunity to win the war on screen that we had been told we'd lost. And if you're like me, you had family members directly involved with that conflict, directly involved with those firefights, who were shaken up and destroyed by it. My wife's family, mine. And so that was one of those things where you cannot get your head around why POWs, 2, 3, 10 of them, whatever you have, were not returned. And that's the thing that I love about Uncommon Valor, is it's all about rising up and trying to complete the business that should have never been left undone. And sometimes you do a thing. The movie signals that sometimes you do a thing because it's the right thing to do.
Hi there, everybody. Voice actor Roger Craig Smith here to talk to you about NMOSD. It can paralyze you, it can blind you, it can even kill you in a matter of minutes, but we are very close to a cure. And with that cure could come a cure for cancer. So please go to the Guthrie Jackson Foundation and donate today. Appreciate it.